Sure. Hello everyone, this is Tim Along and we are from ALONG-yue AI Lab and our team members include Huang Zhongyue, Wei Minggao and Yang Guan. And I will introduce our solution to this competition and the introduction includes 6 parts. First about the AI competition, the features, the network structure we used, imitation learning method and reinforcement learning method we use. And the last one is some experiments we have done. First about this competition. It's a Chinese standard Mahjong competition and it is Swiss tournament, duplicate format, and it only use 136 tiles, not include 8 flowers. And about the features we use three kinds of features: base features, look ahead features, and available action features. First, about the base features. Base features are features we can observe directly from the game, such as a private hand, concealed cone, open melt, discarding tiles, and others. Also, unseen tiles and all hands are used in this part. And next, about look ahead features. Because Chinese standard Mahjong has 81 types of fan with different points, and fan relating to ways of winning declaration. It's very hard to be processed into features. So to compensate, we use distance between tiles in current hand, and tile distributions of all fans are computed. The distance from a fan is defined as the least number of tiles that not satisfied this fan pattern. I will give a specific example in the next slide. And the next about the available action features. We use 4 channels to indicate current available actions, including discarding, chow, pong, and cone. For the 3 actions of chow, pong, and export cone, a channel is used to represent current tile discarded by others. In addition, there is an extra channel used to indicate tiles in private hands that are related to chow. And here are examples. First, about base features. As you can see, we use discarded tiles, the number of tiles left in each wall, there's wind, prevailing wind, open melt, private hand, and these basic features of this game. And here's an example for look ahead features. On the top is one hand of a player, and we compute a distance from 2 different fan parent. The first fan pattern is 三色三不高, and we can compute the number of tiles different from current hand to this fan pattern is only 1, so the distance is 1. Also, the distance from current hand to Du He Long is 3. Both distance 1 and distance 3 are used in our features. About the network structure, we use 1 model for actions, and we use 50 ResNet blocks to train the models, and we output policy and values simultaneously. And the network has 131 outputs, of which 34 represent discarding 34 unique tiles. 45 of 131 is indicate chow 45 sequence of tile, and 1 means whether or not to pong current tile, and 34 represent kong 34 different tiles, and the last one is parsing. About the imitation learning method we used behavior cloning to imitate human policy with Mahjong data provided by competition organizer. Behavior cloning is a method that constructs a data set and then supervised learning is used to train a model to minimize the cross entropy loss, and this will result in an average human policy. And then reinforcement learning is used. About the data set is about 500,000 games and in total 32 million steps. And we filter some low quality data. And about the training phase, we use learning rate 0.001, and we reduce the learning rate on plateau. The batch size we use is 2048. About the reinforcement learning, we use the GAE plus PPO method, and we first initialize the model parameters with average human policy model, which is from the first in supervised learning model. And during training phase, the agent plays 128 games against the past model and generate training samples to update policies in the following iteration. And in order to stabilize the training process, we start with 100 desks, and the number of desks will be double when the training agent has a winning rate over 80%. Also, due to the sparse reward and light state space, it's very hard for reinforcement learning agent to learn better policy, even with imitated human policy model. Besides the final score, we add extra reward when agent reaches teen state, so that we can guide the agent learn better policy, and at the same time, we punish the agent to avoid Huang when the game fails. About the experiment, we do experiments both on imitation learning and reinforcement learning. So first is imitation learning. The data set is the one provided by the competition organizer, and we filter some low quality data based on human data. And we construct another data set which is called winner dataset. It's a dataset we extract data of winners based on the record, and we train two kinds of supervised model. The first one is named supervised all model. This model is trained on all data set. And the other one is named supervised winner model. Is trained only on winner dataset. And here is in tables to introduce the result of this experiment. This table shows our training result, and it can be seen that the larger the batch size, the higher the accuracy. The supervised winner model has a high accuracy rate on the validation set of winner dataset, but it's lower on all dataset. The last column of this table is the score of two models against each other. Both models are trained on the same batch size, and the only difference is the datasets. When the batch size is small, the supervised winner model wins more points, but when the batch size becomes larger, the supervised all model using a large amount of data, and it gets a positive score. About the reinforcement learning part, we apply reinforcement learning to model of batch size 2048. And as you can see in this figure, we left 4 models: the supervised all model, the supervised winner model, and two reinforcement learning model. The first one is named Reinforcement Learning Random Model. It's a model trained on random tasks based on supervised or model. And the other one is called Reinforcement Learning Double Model. The model is trained on double tasks based on reinforcement learning random model. And as shown in this figure, we let the four models playing against over 500,000 games. And in the beginning, the score fluctuates due to the randomness of this game, but as the number of games increased to 100,000, the score gradually becomes stable, and finally the reinforcement learning double model gets the highest the score 0.43, and the reinforcement learning random model gets the second one, the scores 0.32, while the supervised all model has minus 0.24 points, and the supervised winner model has the lowest score, only minus 0.51. It can be seen that reinforcement learning models are much better than imitation learning model. And after using double tasks to reduce the effect of high variance, the reinforcement learning double model achieved the best performance. So the conclusion is in this competition, we combine imitation learning and reinforcement learning to train a powerful Mahjong AI. And by playing with others in the board zone, and we get a good score. That's all. Thank you, everyone.